It's the year 2021 and many different games are soon to release this year that people can't wait to play. From Resident Evil Village, Far Cry 6, It Takes Two, Demon Slayer The Hinokami Chronicles, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and my most anticipated release, Battlefield 2042. Just to note, I am a Call of Duty fanboy, and yes, I used to be one of those people who would buy the new COD every year. But not anymore. Because, yeah. But I remember when the trailer for this game dropped, I saw it and was hooked as I was talking with the homies about how we were all going to play it at launch. A couple months passed and October was here. Soon everyone would get to play the beta available in early October. After this, we would only have to wait a couple more weeks for the game's original release date, which was October 22nd of the same month. Unfortunately, we would soon get the announcement that the game would be delayed till November 19th. Before the launch of the game, if I remember correctly, people who pre-ordered the game were able to play the game early, or I think it was streamers or content creators who got to play it early. I'm not sure. Well, if you know anything about modern gaming, then you know that any AAA release nowadays seems to be an unfinished, always launching with bugs, exploits, and server issues that any community who plays these kinds of games has to deal with, and Battlefield 2042 was no exception. When I searched the videos at the time of the game's launch, all I saw were people with justifiable criticisms about why the game sucks and not worth the $60 EA expects people to play. Yet another bug-filled game that had disappointed many gamers anticipating this game's release. This game sucks so much, in fact, that the Battlefield community went to other Battlefield titles instead of 2042. For a long time, the community who did play this game were starving for content, as for what the game did offer wasn't enough to keep people playing. After some time, some news and updates about the game were soon announced. Over time, the game's problems were slowly fixed and content was making its way into the game, but at a very scarce pace. Soon my story with this game would begin, when one day this game was free for all PS Plus members. I downloaded the game that I was once hyped for, and before you knew it, I was soon on the road to platinum for Battlefield 2042. Before we get into the video, I want to lay out how I'm going to go on about obtaining the trophies. Battlefield 2042 has a total of 35 trophies, and with this game being a multiplayer only game with no campaign, choosing where to start really didn't matter. For this game, I'll split it into 5 different categories. First, trophies obtained by playing the game normally. Second category would be the operator trophies. In order to get these, you just have to play with certain operators and perform the description given for what you have to do to get the trophy. The third section are the hazard zone trophies. There are only 3 trophies for the hazard zone, but my god are they tedious. Fourth section is going to be the ones I wanted to separate because these are all grind fests and finishing them all will depend on how early you get them started. Those trophies being the T1 masteries. Final section would be all the miscellaneous trophies, which are pretty easy to do. Some of them are a bit more tedious, but either way, with all that said, finally, let's get into the video. Starting this journey off are 3 easy trophies, those being Adapt and Overcome, Making Done Proud, and Luck of the Irish. These are obtained by reaching levels 5, 15, and 25. The next trophy up is Command and Conquest. This trophy has us capture 100 objectives in Conquest, therefore you should start this one as soon as possible. Also, while you're going for this trophy, try to obtain other trophies while grinding for this one. An example for this could be while working on the previous trophy, you could also work on Winner Takes All. The description for this is just to win 42 rounds across all game modes. I don't remember how long it took me to obtain this because I was working on other trophies while working on these 2, but those other trophies will be discussed later in the video. Foot Soldier is the easiest trophy that only has us travel 25k on foot without using vehicles. A lot of this grinding is going to have you run, so you'll get used to this in no time. Burnout is the opposite of Foot Soldier that requires us to travel 15k with vehicle resistance. For these next 2, you could probably get them if you go crazy. Good Company and Show Off. To earn Good Company, you and your squad need to get first place. This is easy if your team is hella good, but even if you don't get it when you want it, just try to relax and take your mind off it and focus on a different trophy for the meantime. Show Off is getting outstanding performance achieved. An easy way to get this Show Off trophy is to play as Falk or Angel and revive as many people as you can. While playing as Falk or Angel, you can also focus on another trophy, that being Thank You Santa. This one should be easy as the way to get it is just by resupplying teammates 50 times. Easy. Just place down the armor crate near other players. If you place it in the correct spots, you might be able to speed the process up and finish it in within 4 to 5 matches. Maybe even within 3. But that's if you focus all the match time to just placing these ammo crates down. These next trophies are a bit similar, and completing them depends on how good I was at eliminating other players. Squad Wiper had me eliminate 500 enemies that weren't in vehicles. A good tip I can give for this is if you want to do this fast, play some TDM. Or try playing Breakthrough. For War Machine, I'm not gonna lie, I did this in an AI match. When the match started, I would spawn in with the tank and go on destroying other vehicles with AI enemies. During the process of destroying other vehicles, I would alongside unlock another trophy that required me to destroy 50 vehicles. The trophy? Wrecking Crew. To follow up the previous trophy is No One Gets Left Behind. For this one, play Falcon. That's it. To end this section of the video is on 5x5B. When going for this one I was stumped. Reading the description for this trophy, earn a tier 3 ribbon of each type, I thought I had to earn all the different types of ribbon in one game. Thinking this is what I had to do, I spent the next couple of days trying to get a tier 3 of each type. Just to go more in depth about this trophy, there are 5 different ribbons and they each have 5 different actions needed to perform in matches in order to get them to tier 3. The 5 ribbons are Objective, Wingman, Logistics, Intel, and Combat. For the Objective ribbon, this one is straightforward. Play the objective, capture points in Conquest, and that'll be it. Wingman is all about assists. You can get assists by reviving other players, resupplying, healing, and damaging other enemy players. Some tips for this are playing as Falc or reviving or Angel for his ammo crate. Logistics consists of healing and resupplying others, and repairing vehicles also counts toward this ribbon. Big tip is to play as Boris. Use his repair tool and dedicate some time in the match to repair vehicles. To me this seemed way faster than reviving other players, so it might work for you. Intel is spotting and disrupting enemies. Casper is by far the best choice as he has a drone that's very easy to use. Use the drone and pin other players. Do this until you get the tier 3 ribbon for Intel. Easy. Finally we get to the combat ribbon. A very simple ribbon to get which requires kills and destroying other enemy vehicles. Back to what I said a bit earlier, I spent time trying to get this trophy because I thought I had to obtain them all in one match. Playing all day long match to match, dedicating all my time to this one trophy but no end in sight. My eyes were red and hella dry. Glued to the screen, I was fed up and feeling of quitting started looming behind my head. But then I had a big brain moment. I thought about looking up a YouTube video. I can't believe I didn't think of this any sooner. I had wasted so many days and hours on this one dumb trophy. Turns out, all you have to do for this trophy is obtain a tier 3 ribbon of each, only once. Not knowing what I had to do, I tried my hardest to remember the different tier 3 ribbons I had gotten. I hopped on a match and went in to get the last tier 3 ribbon for Intel. The tier 3 popped up, and on screen, a few moments later, the trophy on 5x5B was mine. Finally, let's move on to the next set of trophies. I was gonna put these set of trophies close to the end, but realized it wouldn't work out. That's because this set is all about grinding, a lot of it, and it's best to work on it while grinding for other trophies. These 4 trophies are Universal Soldier, Gunmaster, Wheeled Warrior, and Jack of all trades. I'll be going more in depth about what each requires in order to obtain them all. Starting off, Universal Soldier is getting a Specialist to T1 Mastery. If you notice that when playing with Specialists, each one has different actions you need to perform in order to reach a new tier. For me, one operator I highly recommend playing as is Falc, as she is easy and quick to reach the T1 Mastery. With Falc, all you need to do for her Specialist challenge is revive or heal other players with Falc's Surret Pistol. The best mode to grind for this challenge is Breakthrough. When playing this mode, it's all about 2 sides, attacking or defending, but whichever side you're on works either way. Play normally, but when you see people requesting for revives or just people who are down, hit them with the revive. The number of people you revive will differ, and also depending on how dedicated you are to wanting to finish this challenge. When I was going for this challenge at first, I did it while grinding other trophies, but realized it was taking forever, and soon started going into matches and dedicating all the match time running over to players, healing them or reviving them. Lots of grinding later, this T1 Mastery was finished. 1/4 of this set of trophies is done. On to the next. Gunmaster is a trophy that I dreaded working on. The reason was because I picked a really bad weapon to start the grind off. It was the AC-9 and SMG. When I started working on this trophy, I noticed that there was no going back, because looking at the amount of kills I had was close to 700. Also, since I'm not the best player getting kills, this took way longer than expected. Another thing that didn't help were the attachments. Maybe it's just me being a dummy, but I had lots of trouble with the recoil of the weapon, and adding any attachments to help me reduce that, I saw it didn't make much of a difference. Thankfully I had enough patience and finally obtained T1 Mastery for the AC9. 2 out of the 4 trophies are done. Halfway there. Up next is Wheeled Warrior, that has us earn a T1 Mastery badge with any vehicle. This one by far has to be the hardest out of the 4. A perfect combo that I had was using the 30mm cannon on the, I think it's called Lat V4 Recon. That by far has to be the best, for me. It makes the grind a bit more bearable, but my god is the grind so long. For this trophy, I faced many different factors that were way out of my control, like people moving the vehicle when I had it parked in a certain location, and the vehicle being destroyed, which was pretty annoying, and having to wait for a new one to be available for me to spawn in with, or even finding one during the match. And yes, I know, I was pretty much useless since I wasn't pushing on the objective, but hey, I'm already suffering as it is. Anyways, after a bunch of grinding, a lot of time, days going into this trophy, I finally unlocked Wheeled Warrior. 3 out of the 4 done, let's move on to the next. Finally, the trophy that restored some hope in me, Jack of all trades. This one is all about gadgets or throwables. For this one, go with throwables. Best way I found to make it was hop into a match of Hazard Zone and before entering the match, equip smoke grenades. This is very important. In the match, make your way to an ammo resupply station thingy. When you arrive, go crazy with the R2 on your controller and throw as many smoke grenades as you can. Don't exfil, don't move at all. Just keep throwing the smoke grenades. If you do this, it'll probably take you around 4 to 5 matches due to the challenge for the smoke grenades having you throw 4,000 of them. Yeah, 4,000. By the way, this is the easiest out of the 4. Quick note, you will be useless to your team, as I was. Will they hate you? Not sure. And good luck finding matches, as when I tried to find a match, it took me around 20 to 30 minutes just for a match to start. This is because the mode is practically dead. Barely any players are playing this game mode at all. I'll get more into this when I get to the Hazard Zone trophies, but damn! Do I have a lot to say about these trophies. I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, this wraps up the T1 Mastery trophies, and with that, let's move on to the next section. Yes, finally, we're on to some easy trophies. The following are all operator trophies, and in order to obtain them all, you'll need to play as specific operators and complete challenges that's in the description of the trophy. Starting off this trophy section is a bird, a plane. Use the operator Sundance in order to complete this challenge. The challenge for this trophy is to use the wingsuit on the map Orbit. You need to fly from the rocket hangar all the way to the launch pad. One tip that I used to cheese these operator trophies was to play with bots, and for some, I hopped onto portal matches. But no, I only did the private matches if I couldn't do them in public lobbies. I know that doesn't excuse the cheese, but if it makes you feel any better, I will be entering a Sufferer arc later on in the vid. The next trophy is going places. Travel 1,000 meters in 1 round while using McKay's grappling hook. When I got the trophy, I don't think I played as McKay. I believe I was using Falk for this one. I think I got it by grappling onto a hook in a match of Conquest. Still confused on how I got it without using McKay, but it is what it is. Oh boy. This next one was one of my favorite trophies out of my whole experience with this game. Doze this. All you need to do for this one is get 7 kills in 1 life while using Dozer's ballistic shield. For me though, I got this on my first try. I hopped onto a match late night, Conquest, and decided that I wanted to work on this trophy. With a bit of camping and my eyes glued to the screen, I got it. A little too easy for me. Happy Birthday has gotta be one of the easiest from this section. To make it brief, use Angel and call in 15 loadout crates. It takes 1 match to get this done, very easy. Man, these trophies are getting really easy, no? I wonder if the rest of the trophies are going to be like this. These next 2 trophies have got to be some of the worst experiences I've had within this game. Well, for starters, Dr. Falk in the house. This one is the least stressful, so let's start with this one. The description for this trophy is as follows. Heal 3,000 points of damage within a single round with Falk's S21 Surrett pistol. I made a big mistake that wasted a lot of time that could have been solved easily. I played Conquest. I was going into matches and leaving with 22 points of damage healed, almost every single time without a fail. I started stressing going in day and night, and nothing I did would change that number. After a while of being pissed off, I turned over to my phone and looked up a YouTube video on the specific trophy. Turns out the solution to this was to break through game mode. I got in a match, healed as many players as I could. When the match finished, and boom, I got the trophy. It popped up. So yeah, I forgot breakthrough is a chaotic and more fast-paced game mode. Moving on. There are no words to describe this next trophy, so here's a dumb meme that describes how I felt.
Holy fucking Stratford, this is someone sitting in the fucking corner.
Hey,
Only in fucking
Mr.
Stratford.
Beast, the shit out of this burger, and it feels great. My cock is so
B-Guns dry. Stupid trophy. I wasted so many hours of my life that I'll never get back thanks to this trophy. To sum it up, inflict 2,500 points of damage in one round while defending objectives using Boris's SG-36 sentry gun. I couldn't get it no matter how much I tried in public lobbies. I used my good friend YouTube once again and soon hopped into a match of Portal just to cheese it. My god, this one sucks. I think the whole video was a mistake. Anyways, that was the operator trophy, so yeah, let's move on to the next section. Boy oh boy, did I dread working on these trophies. After spending a good chunk of time in Conquest and Breakthrough working on some other trophies, I decided to start shifting some of that time to start working on the Hazard Zone trophies. Little did I realize that this would not only take a huge amount of time to finish, but the amount of stress these trophies put me through was tremendous. For starters, the easiest of the bunch, which doesn't mean much, Pack Rat. Successfully extract with 50 data drives in Hazard Zone. The way you can speed this process up is to equip the perk-like thingy that allows you to carry 5 data drives instead of the normal 3 they allow you to carry. Then go to the pods containing these data drives, and once you and your team have some data drives collected, just wait for the extraction point. The hard part about this challenge is the extraction part, because other teams will be heading to the extraction point and will fight to extract. I cannot tell you how many times I got close to extracting, but couldn't because I died trying to get on the plane. One thing to point out is something I saw when looking up videos was even if you die and your team who is carrying their own data drives makes it and successfully exfils, it will count toward the amount you need as well. I would for the most part die trying to exfil, but my team would leave with around 2 to 5 data drives combined. After a while of doing this, I got the trophy. I wish this was the end, but nah, 2 more to go. On a side note, I just want to say to whoever's going after these trophies, I wish nothing but the best of luck to you. Hang in there because these are the worst of the worst. It only gets better than this. Trust me. The 2 trophies next are pretty much the same but with slight differences. Escape Artist and Clean Exit. The description of these 2 are successfully extract 25 times in Hazard Zone and successfully extract in Hazard Zone without anyone in the squad having died. Believe it or not, Clean Exit, which is a gold trophy that only has 0.6, was easier than Escape Artist, which was a bronze trophy that had a 0.1 completion rate. Maybe it's due to my experience with each of them and how I got them unlocked. First off, I spent a good 3 hours going after Clean Exit. Then in the match that I did unlock it, I got this with a good team. They were running to locations and camping around the exfil zone, waiting until the exfil was close to landing and running to the exfil. I was wondering if this was going to be the match where I unlocked it, because one of our teammates was still outside in the vehicle. Thankfully, he got in right before we exfilled and boom, the trophy was secured. Finally, we're onto the trophy that burned me out and took me close to a week, if I remember correctly, to complete. Escape Artist. Successfully extract 25 times. 25 times! This not only is difficult, but there were many factors that made this even harder. For starters, the matchmaking. Like I've said earlier in the video, the game mode is practically dead. I've died so many times from players who were way better than me. From time to time, I would get put in the same team as them with really good players and get some exfils completed. But overall, going up against them was prolonging this tedious and mind-numbing experience. It took some time to get it, but after all this trouble, I finally unlocked it. Getting close to the end of our journey, we got one more section left. With that finally, Hazard Zone is done. For this final section, I decided to cut the whole section and replace it with this instead. The reason for this is looking back on it, it was too repetitive. This section was for the miscellaneous trophies and their descriptions and what I did to unlock them. I do gotta come clean. I did this whole section in AI matches or Portal. I cheesed the whole section. Since I went on about unlocking them all in the same way, I decided to save some time and cut this section short. So I decided I'll have a small compilation on screen instead of the trophies being unlocked. In all honesty, for me, this platinum trophy was the right balance between plausible and mind-numbing. The road to achieve this platinum was mostly all grinding, which isn't much for me as I used to play each new Call of Duty yearly, but that's besides the point. I think this game was actually a good challenge, even though I did cheese half of it. But overall, if I had to give this a rating for how difficult this was for me, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Anyone going for this trophy, I suggest going straight for the hazard zone trophies, then working on everything else after. Another thing is this platinum will take you quite a long time, and that can be due to factories you do or don't have control over. I went to the PSN profiles and saw the amount of time they listed it would take someone to finish this platinum, and damn, 120 hours? That's crazy, but oh well. Anyways, I want to end this video off by just saying, if you're still watching this, thanks man, I appreciate it. How's your day going? Before the time of me recording this video, I got sick, therefore it took way longer than expected to release this video. But that doesn't really matter, as if you saw the recent upload, you know I'm not the one to post regularly. So yeah. Good news though, I have another platinum that I have achieved, but oh boy did this one want to make me quit trophy hunting overall. It should be out soon because it's a game that doesn't have many trophies. I would give a clue of what it is, but that would just spoil it. So yeah, thank you to all 5 people watching this video. Remember to keep your head up, and thanks for watching another episode of Road to Platinum Battlefield 2042.
Let's get you back in.